Hey, what's up, everyone? We're looking at the Monday slate. We have a nice slate tonight, so let's get right into it. Drop a like down below and subscribe. Appreciate that. Yesterday was a good day for Draftkings, 308 and a quarter. Once Anthony Davis was ruled out, I let everybody know that I updated the site. Had to get LeBron in there. Had to get Kuzma, and instead of playing Damian Lee, went to Danny Green so I could pay up for LeBron and get Kyle Kuzma in there. So it worked out really nicely. OG was the GOAT, 60 fantasy points, best game of his life at low ownership, which helped us cash. So looking to keep it going tonight. So if you want to join, you can visit the website. Links in description. Starting off here at point guard, seems like every time we have a slate that includes James Harden, it also includes Trae Young and Luka. Seems like those three are, and Westbrook obviously, but it seems like these four are always on the same slates. But I would be Trae Young, and then James Harden, and then Luka Westbrook for me. If I'm going cheaper, it's definitely CJ at 9,300. DraftKings did a pretty quick job of raising Ja Morant's price tag, 7,200 now. I definitely like Elfrid Payton at 6,700 against Houston. Bad defensively. He's at home. That looks good. And then the Cavs, I will be touching on them in a little bit once we get to power forward, but I like the Cavs a little bit today. The Jazz have been terrible defensively over the past month and a half, really, really bad defensively. And the Cavaliers are very shorthanded today, so they only ran an 8-man rotation last game against the Pacers, and now they're missing one of those guys in Garland, so they're going to be very, very thin today, and Tristan Thompson's already been ruled out. I think Murray looks fine, but not a priority at 55. And then if I'm going under 5K, there's not a ton that sticks out at all. So be a spot where I probably will get into the mid-range at point guard. I like Elfrid Payton at 67. We all know the upside that he has. He's at home where he's played pretty well this year. He has monster upside, triple-double upside dating back to his Orlando Magic days and his Pelicans days. And he's going to have to play a lot of minutes because he's a good defender, and he's going to be tasked with defending one of the two guards on Houston. So he's good at getting steals as well, 1.6 steals per game. Doesn't shoot a lot, but he gets assists, chance for a double-double, which is pretty lucrative on DraftKings, and also triple-double upside as well. Over at shooting guard, it's CJ. McCollum I like at 93. Like DeRozan a lot at 7,300. Just didn't have to do a lot offensively against Orlando. They're a pretty good defense, and other guys were stepping up. Trey Lyles had a good game. Rudy Gay had a good game, so DeRozan didn't have to do a lot offensively, but he's still been getting a lot more ball handling duties. 9 assists the last couple games. Game before that had 8 rebounds. We know the upside that he does possess without Aldridge because the offense will run through him and he will kind of dictate what to do offensively. Probably will take more than 13 shots today. I would assume he'd take closer to 20. He's at home. I think he looks pretty good at 73 for sure. And then I'll definitely like Collin Sexton. I think Fournier is viable at 6,400. And then I really do like Dillon Brooks, though, at just 5,300. For Dillon Brooks, they did not raise his price tag like they raised Ja Morant's price. But it's a really good spot for him. Just looking at how many shots he's been taking, 26, 22, and 24. Not all of them are falling, but the fact that he's taking all those shots, he's going to at least hit some of them. And he's been hitting some, getting to the free throw line a couple times. But really, just a really good spot against Atlanta. They play fast, bad defensively. He should get a lot of open looks, and if he's knocking them down, he has 30-plus point upside here. And he hasn't really chipped in with the peripherals, just been shooting a lot, but it can get you some rebounds and a couple assists. So 53 for Dillon Brooks looks really good. Small forward, I like DeRozan a lot at 7,300. I think Fournier, Covington, and Warren are all viable. If I had to rank them, it would be Covington, Warren, then Fournier. Just based on the upside, Covington has been getting a ton of rebounds ever since they made the change and traded away Clint Capella. I'd say Kevin Porter looks pretty good. I assume he's going to start in place of Garland. He's been really showing off lately with some of his upside, and will probably play 35, 36 minutes tonight. Under 5K, I think he's viable for sure. And then if I'm going under 4,500, I think Trent looks okay at 43. Rudy Gay looks good. He looks fine. If he starts, he would look even better, but You really never know what Pop's going to do. But at 43, DraftKings did raise his price tag by $1,000, but no Pirtle. They're going to need some size against this Pacers team, so he's in play. But DeRozan at 7,300 is tough for me not to have some interest in. At power forward, it's going to be, I think Gordon is viable here against Portland just because how good the matchup is. Anytime you're getting a power forward against Portland, defended by Carmelo, is going to be viable and going to be a little bit appealing. Was a little bit worried about him against San Antonio on a back-to-back, 3 and 4, playing 41 minutes a game. Didn't get as many minutes, still got 36. So I assume you can get back up there if they need him to, and he's playing well. It's a spot where he can have a huge bounce back, and I kind of think he will. So I like him. He's definitely in player pool, in consideration. I really do like Kevin Love here, 7K. Just because they are shorthanded, I think Kevin Love is going to have to play 35, 36 minutes tonight unless they want to give more minutes to Larry Nance. But Kevin Love against Utah gets a pretty good spot, defended by Royce O'Neal compared to Rudy Gobert. And he's been playing pretty well as of late, especially at home. And I just want to show you guys how bad the Jazz have been defensively. If you look at the last 15 games, the Jazz are third to last in defensive rating, right there with the Hawks and with the Bulls. If you want even a shorter sample size and you look at the last 5 games, they are the worst team in the league defensively. They have just been getting just ousted by teams. Teams are putting up a boatload of points against them. And that's just telling. That's really telling because they were known to be a good defense all year. Don't know what's changed, but not saying to just stack up the Cavs, but the Jazz have been struggling over the past month and a half defensively, and the Cavaliers are shorthanded. They're going to get some big minutes out of some of these guys. So at pretty low ownership, I think they're worth some looks. At center here, Vucevic looks pretty good at 8,400. That's a nice price tag for him. Drummond looks fine at 8,000. The minutes, he should get good minutes tonight without Thompson. And it's a scarier spot against Gobert. But whenever you get Drummond playing good minutes, he's always in play, especially at a cheap price point. But Valanciunas is really cheap at 6,800. Still, they didn't raise his price tag very much. It's a really good spot against Atlanta. They're awful defensively, awful against centers. If they start Collins, then Valanciunas should be able to eat on the glass. And if they start Fernando, same kind of deal. There's nobody to really have the size to match up to Valanciunas. I'm expecting a big game out of him on the glass. And then at guard, another Cav that I think is viable is going to be Collin Sexton at 6,000. Just because he's going to be missing his backcourt partner and Garland, who was much better at getting assists. He averaged like 2 more assists than Sexton, or averaged about like 4 point something. So Sexton will have a little bit more ball handling responsibilities, especially if they start Kevin Porter. I mean, Kevin Porter can handle the rock a little bit, but Sexton, he's going to have to play a lot of minutes tonight. Play 37, 36. We'll see a similar amount, maybe even 38, 39, just with how thin they are in the backcourt, because really they have him and they have Dellavedova as true like point guards on the team right now, unless they call somebody up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for DraftKings as of now. For Fanduel here at point guard, it's Trae Young. Fanduel always has Westbrook more expensive than Trae Young, so always play just Trae Young because he's similar upside, cheaper. John Morant's pretty appropriately priced on Fanduel, a little bit better than all he is on DraftKings at 6,900. But you also have Elfrid Payton in a good spot at 6,300. You have DeJounte Murray at 55, Collin Sexton at 55. Those look pretty good. So I like Payton again at 63. It's just the price tag just jumps off the page. There's some players, and when they get to certain prices, and it's a good spot. The way he's been playing, a couple of bad games recently, but before that was pretty consistent. 50-point upside at a $6,300 salary is always appealing. At shooting guard, I like Harden, McCollum, DeRozan as my pay-ups. If I'm paying down, it's Dillon Brooks at 5,800. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to get DeRozan in there at 7,500. Small forward, I like TJ Warren, 59. Carmelo at 56, just because there's not a lot of options here. But I kind of like Kevin Porter here at 49. You're going to need 2 small forwards. Should play a lot of minutes today. Has big-time upside. pretty safe to get you at least 5 to 6x here with upside for more. Gonna have to play more minutes, so more minutes equals more production. At home, I like Kevin Porter. At power forward, I like Collins and Sabonis. But Gordon is pretty cheap on Fanduel, down to 7,400 for him. And I like Love and Covington as well. And then if I'm punting or going cheap, Trey Lyles at 4,300 is the guy that I would go cheap at the position for. But I kind of like Gordon here in a bounce back spot, back at home. Price tag down to 7,400. He's flashed similar upside to guys like Sabonis and Adebayo. Both of them are much more expensive than him. And it's just a really good spot against whenever a power forward is facing off against the Blazers team. I have some interest, especially a guy that with the talent that Gordon has. And then at center here, it's same kind of two that I'm really looking at for DraftKings. Vucevic and Drummond. Even Valanciunas is in play, but with how closely Valanciunas is priced to Drummond, I think I might just get Drummond in there. We know the upside that Drummond has. He's at home. It's a tougher matchup against Utah, but even when he was getting like 23, 24 minutes, he was still being productive on a point per minute basis. And now with the injury, should get 30 plus minutes and still not priced for that kind of role. So that's what I'm looking at for FanDuel as well. As always, I'll keep you guys posted with changes. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.